the Joust. My name is Naggy. I'm joined once again by my good Irish boy, Mr. Liam McNeil, recovering ever so slightly.
I'm at the tail end of day 2 of my traditional St. Patrick's Day hangover.
Patrick's
We'll
Day.
get through this together, Jousters.
Yeah.
We'll do it together.
St. Patrick's Day is an important day to many people.
Very important day.
The Irishness comes through you, seeps through your pores, Liam.
It's seeping through our pores right now.
What is
Thank you to the wonderful people at Bushmills Whiskey Distillery.
What does the St. Patrick's Day mean to you, Liam?
Oh, it means a day of quiet reflection, of somber thinking about the plights of sectarianism and imperialism that have torn my family to asunder over the centuries.
Over the centuries, of course, historically.
We got The Wind That Shakes the Barley this year with Cillian Murphy, 2006. Won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, I believe.
Is it Cillian or Killian?
Well, I think we've decided it's Cillian, haven't we?
I don't know.
I thought we.
I'm pretty sure it's Killian.
Is it Killian?
Yeah.
My apologies to Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy.
Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Murphy. I don't know. We got to sit people down in a room and work this out. Say, listen here, mate. Sort us out, would you?
Clear
Get the boffins on it.
Enunciation of his name.
Yeah.
But Liam, of course, we're joined by a third person, which is our musical guest for this week. He is fresh from exporting apples from Libya. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Nissan Salvatore.
Killings have me. I guess you better go and ask that down. MCL, run it up, baby. I guess that is quite financial. They won't be running all over town. Guess it's looking like 6 to 8 weeks off the ground. Beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Salvatore. Of course, Liam brought to our attention.
Need a lot of apples in Libya, Nagy?
Yeah, a lot of apples.
Yeah, he's a busy man, Mr. Salvatore. I'm amazed we managed to get him.
Yes. He's very busy. A lot of apples being moved about. Of course, Liam.
Apples here, apples there, apples everywhere.
We have to jump into everything that's maybe not so nighty, and of course, that's everything making the NRL news. Thank you, Nissan. Now, of course, Liam, the first thing that we have to address
We must address this important piece of news that we're about to talk
is
about.
despite the 2 wins, 2 from 2 this season, as we move...
The most wins you can possibly get,
Yes.
given the amount of games that the Knights have played.
Now, we're coming off, of course, last season, 2025, 9 losses in a row.
Bad, not great.
And we were so quenched for a win, and now we've got 2 of them as we move slightly up the smug meter. We're not quite smug yet.
Well, we're close, though.
Yeah.
We're close. I think 3 in a row. The smugness is going to creep in a bit.
And, of course, Liam, we move into our casualty ward. And that's, thank you, Mr. Salvatore. The casualty ward, which, of course, there was no prisoners taken because our 2 most prominent, as well as financial players, taking up such a large chunk of our
That's
salary
it,
cap.
skill-wise and money-wise. They're tying up a lot.
They looked really good out there, Kalen
incredible.
and Brown, for their game and a half each. But they have since both been ruled out. Now, Kalen has decided to move away from his classic syndesmosis injury.
That's it. He's picked another groin to injure.
He made it upper groin,
Upper lower groin?
upper central groin
Okay.
to his hamstring, and he's decided to tear it, and that's 6 to 8 weeks. Now, that isn't the kind of thing that we wanted to see so early in the season. Now, we're used to Kalen Ponga being injured, but usually we get a little bit.
Well, there was
a few more
that
weeks out of it.
season a couple of seasons ago where he got knocked out against the Tigers.
2023.
Of course, round 1, 7 minutes into the season.
Yeah.
7 seconds into the season, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
But usually he saves it up for a bit later in the year, which I like that he's made the call. Look, I'm going to get my injury out of the way early in the season.
Bowling pineapples, getting them out of the way. Yeah,
that's it. You got to get it out of the way. And hamstring injuries are terrible because just as soon as it's gotten better, you never know when it's going to go again. I've had some hamstring injuries before, and they're terrible.
Dylan Brown looked over and said, hang on a second, you could be paid that amount of money and not play? Why don't I join you with an MCL injury? Now, not This is lower groin, of course, with the MCL.
The good bad one, I think we have here in the notes.
He's in the lower end of the Kalen injury of the 6 to 8. He's the 4 to 6.
That's it. As far as cruciate ligament injuries go, this is about as good a result as you could hope. It's sort of in the middle there. It's not the PCL, it's not the ACL, it's the MCL.
MCL, often not requiring surgery, which is good. It's good for us because he doesn't have to rehab from surgery, come back and get cut open and do the thing when they touch
Isn't
the thing.
it crazy that the majority of ways to fix rugby league injuries, we'll just do a surgery.
Cut them open.
We'll just cut them open. Let's get them on the table.
They say you're busted so bad your body can't heal it independently. So we must get trained doctors to go in and take part of your ass and put it in your knee. And that seems
part of your groin, put it in your other groin.
Other groin, take from one groin to the other.
You got so many groins. You can spare a few.
It was concerning there for a while that it may have looked like that he had done his ACL, the worst groin.
That's the bad groin.
And but no, there is, I suppose, the one shining light is that it is the lesser of the groins in the knee, and is the MCL. So you'll avoid surgery, rehab it back. Now that does remind me.
If you get surgery, it could come back a bit quicker.
I don't know. Well, it hasn't torn it completely. It's hanging on. It's hanging on.
By a thread, perhaps.
Now, I've done an MCL injury to the same degree as Dylan Brown there, and my knee's never been the same. So hopefully, he's just a much... Sorry?
How did you do yours?
Rugby union. Rugby union, yeah.
So
Similar.
When you look at it, playing rugby league or rugby union, it's just stupid.
It's terrible
Like,
for the
I
body.
remember one time, I was sitting on the bench. I'd come off with a hamstring injury, funnily enough.
Yes.
And to my left was two guys who'd done their ACLs. To my right was one guy who'd subluxed his shoulder, went straight in, straight out, and then straight back in. And
Yes.
I just remember we were all sitting there and like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why are we doing
We have
this?
a life outside of this game that
Yeah.
we must continue to do. Like, I don't know, get out of bed independently. Like, all of those sorts of things. But no.
But does it speak to a bit more of a bigger problem, Naggy, that we saw with the Fletcher Sharp injury, where coach seems to be happy to leave these guys out for maybe a touch longer than they should?
Let them bleed, he says. If he dies, he dies. He's a bit of a sadist there, the missionary man, of course, our fearless leader, Mr. Justin Holbrook.
Well, he's very vanilla in the bedroom. He has to save his sadism for
outside
his players.
That's right, but the lights are on. And it was in all three of our most important players, in Fletcher Sharp in round one in Vegas, and then Kalen Pong and Dylan Brown. They say, I've got an injury, and he says,
no, you don't.
Just stay on, it'll be fine. And if you look up there, he's actually covering both of his eyes. He says everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Just pretend like it never happened.
Yeah.
And then I heard him just singing a nice song to himself. He's singing,
What was he singing?
Memories. And it just calms him down.
Hey, we all have our ways of dealing with things, Naggy. Yeah. We all have our ways.
And that hasn't come out really well for Justin Holbrook to say that just stay out there, because every one of those has actually resulted in a fairly significant injury.
Yeah, he's 0 for 3.
Yeah, so
he's not doing too great on that front. But hey, he's 2-0 with the win.
2-0,
So maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah. And
I'd say he knows a lot of stuff.
We'll certainly circle back to the Knights versus Manly in the second half of the show. But Liam, there has been some maybe centres for not so excellence. A bit of a shock here when we look across the pond to other teams with Bronson Zeri or
Do you know what across the pond means, Naggy?
Well,
neither of these teams are across the pond from Newcastle.
I'm not sure if you've travelled.
There could be a pond somewhere in between.
There's got to be a pond.
Surely, somewhere in the 800 kilometres between Newcastle and Brisbane, there's got to be a pond. You're right. I apologise.
Across several ponds.
Across a pond.
So
many ponds.
If 2025 was sort of a comeback year for these two players, both Bronson as well as former Newcastle Knights.
Newcastle Knights, great.
Shibby. And both of those players have found themselves now being cut from their teams. Now, Bronson was welcomed back after a 4-year steroid suspension, and Shibby was basically found in the doldrums of rugby league. I don't know where he was playing, somewhere in Queensland, not in Queensland Cup, somewhere even beyond there.
Two great stories of rugby league redemption, which are the greatest rugby league stories of all.
Now, both teams might be under a bit of pressure. Bulldogs didn't look very impressive coming off their Golden Point win against St George Illawarra over there in Vegas. And
Broncos also not looking very impressive in their 0-2 start.
0-2, the complete reverse in their defending year. Yeah. And they've decided to swing the axe on these poor souls that have only just managed their way back to NRL. They're first in, first out, I suppose.
I think that's the way it works, isn't it?
That's how it
first
works.
In, first out, yeah.
There are also probably two players that are on not so much money despite their accolades. I think Bronson as well as Shibby. I think
both very good value contracts, given the football they've turned out in the last 2 years.
Should be playing, of course, Queensland Origin, and then going on to play for Australia. And then
What a tale.
Didn't save him. Didn't save him at all. So he's either been benched or he won't be playing at all.
But look, Michael Maguire's a rugby league genius. If Michael Maguire's making this decision, then I have full faith that there's good reasoning behind it.
Firm.
Cam Serrato, I don't know. Who cares?
Bronson is a little bit more of a tricky one because they seem to be, they want to move Matt Burton out to the centres.
Do you think it's time that the Matt Burton in the halves experiment ends, Naggy? Is that what you're saying?
It's sort of coming back to this thing that they really, really want Lockie Galvin to work in the halves. And so they're like, well, he has to play halfback.
Insistent upon that.
Doesn't look great in halfback. They say, well, he must play 5'8". Matt Burton plays 5'8". Oh, he could play centre. Who we got in centre? Well, we're not going to drop Stephen Crichton.
No, nor should you.
Bronson Zeri's still there with a bloody needle in his arm. Maybe we'll ship him off. And he's still coming too. He's had
What's a peptide, Nagy?
No.
Is it a kind of...
a couple of...
He's a peptide, like, is that a blanket category? Peptides?
Growth hormone, I think, peptides. I think
HGH.
they make all your hormones grow.
Good.
So it's but when there was a bit of a sad story in rugby league where 2 players seem to be dropping out of the top brass, if you will. One player has elevated himself into the history books. Of course, this is Alex Johnston, not to be confused with Alex Johnson.
No, never should you confuse the two, and we've done it many times.
Yes.
Now, there's not enough good rugby league stories. There's not enough feel-good stories in this day and age of the 24-hour news cycle where everything is calamity and pain and hatred all 24 hours of the day. So to see a great story like this, the Alex Johnston breaking Ken Irvine's record, which again, I apologise to Fletcher Sharp. I thought he would beat Alex Johnston to the record, but wasn't it great to see such an amazing feat of rugby league excellence coming into the fore?
And without incident. Now, we've got 40,000 Sydney fans, either the Roosters or the Rabbitohs persuasion, storming the field. Of course, many people saw the first Roosters supporter that just got there too early and was tackled by security. Probably
that poor guy.
Taken out the back and beaten to
lifetime
his
bans
life.
for just that guy.
Just that guy. And then he was followed by 40,000 other fans. The crowd just kept getting bigger and bigger. Now, this is right after half-time, and it would have been great if it was right before half-time.
It would have been. That would have given him time.
Well, I suppose they would have to come back on. But the game stopped for about 25 minutes.
Rightly so. I'm very glad that these, men and women of Sydney flooded the field to celebrate a great event. Yeah. And I guess a lot of people say that it was easy for Alex Johnson where he'd just catch a pass and fall over the line. No. I disagree. Look, if it was that easy to score that many tries on the wing, every winger would do it all the time. Yeah. But it's not. It's not been the case that he is, to be fair, he has played on the left edge for South Sydney, which over the last decade is maybe the best attacking edge in rugby league.
Now outside of Latrell Mitchell, formerly outside of Greg Inglis.
Oh,
he certainly had some great pathways.
He had some Ferraris inside him, that's for sure. But I say, well done, Alex Johnston.
Yeah.
But don't get used to it, mate. Fletcher 4 tries is coming for you.
That's right. He's only 190 tries away.
Easy. Piece of piss.
And of course, now
that's not many.
Alex is also still playing, so that tally will probably grow. But I think it's a win.
Wouldn't it be sad if it doesn't?
It's a win for the good guys. I like Alex Johnson. I think everyone likes Alex
Johnson. Never heard
Johnson.
a bad word about him.
Yeah. He has
Kummel's legend.
Yeah, Kummel's legend. Yeah, he's played 11 tests for PNG and
he's got a lot of tries doing it too.
One for Australia as well, I think as well. So look, he's just one of those sort of smiley, happy-go-lucky guys out the wing. I think everyone wanted to see him to break this record, and they got to see him do it. I thought Rugby League they might have all packed in there to see him not do it. That's very rugby league. Or they would storm the field and there would be some sort of calamity violent, or they would lift the posts out and run away with them and take them back.
Accidental hats off to the rugby league fans who did storm the field, but did so without incident.
With respect.
With respect for the game, with respect for... that very much within the spirit of the game.
I think so. They found the spirit of the game and they said, let's respect it.
Let's respect it.
Which is not something you see from rugby league supporters very often. Now, something that is very close to your heart, Liam.
Very.
Now, despite you draping yourself in red and blue, and
I do drape,
and confessing your love for our
drape
beloved
myself in velvet if it was acceptable.
Our beloved Newcastle Knights. Yeah. There is part of your heart, a section of it.
There always will be. That'll never go away.
Cut off. That is very, very dedicated to anything that is the insignia of
anything bear related.
The Bears.
Just give me big fat hairy blokes and I'll be happy having you.
Yes, the male bear.
Yeah.
But now the Bears are ramping up for a season, and ever so often we hear about a signature, and now their team is starting to take a bit of shape.
It looks like they've got the beginnings of a 30-man squad here. It looks like they've got several men who have signed to play for their team.
Well, Toby Sexton seems to be one of the first ones, earlier ones.
His trip to France didn't last very long if he's coming back already.
He's coming back already, yeah.
Well, when does he start? 2025? When do the Bears come in? 2026? That's this year.
That's this year, Liam. Next year is 2027. The Bears will be running onto the field in 2027. Toby Sexton was one of their earlier signings.
He's exactly the kind of guy you need in the halves. He's a steady hand. He's never put a foot wrong in the halves. You know, he's not the best halfback in the world, but he's absolutely at the top of the pretty good guys.
Top of the capables.
Yeah, top of the capables. That's exactly what it is.
Now, Tyron Wishart as well from the Storm.
Great signing. Love Tyron Wishart.
He seems like he's going to be ready for a first-grade debut. Nick Meaney, the most versatile player in, I'd say, modern NRL history.
That's it. Any man who can get that much trust from Craig Bellamy is a good man.
Former Newcastle, of course, Nick Meaney. He was stuck behind Kalen. Looked like he wasn't going to get a shot at fullback. Went to the Dogs. Had a bit of a mixed time there. Now, since he's gone to the Storm, he's currently playing, I believe, on the wing. And he's played many games on the wing.
Lots at centre. Many games at centre.
Fullback.
All of it.
As well as 5'8".
He's an amazing man,
Kicking
Nick Meaney.
goals,
He's literally kicking goals. And so that's a big signing for the Bears, as well as Josh Curran from
Great signing.
The Bulldogs.
The one that excites me most, though, Nagy, is you'll see there up somewhere on the list of men, Liam Henry. Now, Liam Henry has come through the Panthers system. I think he debuted last year, perhaps. He's got State of Origin prop written all over him. He is an exciting young front rower, Liam Henry.
Not to be confused with Liam Martin, of course, playing for the same team.
Or Martin Henry.
Yeah. Or Martin Bryan. Don't confuse him with any of those men.
Don't confuse him with Martin Bryan.
Scott Sorensen, of course.
Bit of veteran presence there.
Yeah, and
Sifa
Talakai, which I think is someone that, that does so well when he is playing. He has played for the Blues as well, but then just sort of goes into obscurity and either comes off the bench or they don't know where to put him. Is he too big to play centre or is he too small to play in the front row?
He's very big.
But he's a big...
rotund.
He's a rotund sort of... He's like a barrel.
He's
a barrel of a man.
But with deft hands, a deft touch. I think that, it's like, given the shit show they've been handed in, like, oh, you're coming to the NRL in a year. Boy, no one's off contract, are they? I think the Bears have put together a reasonably good squad.
Structure, foundations of the team. And, of course, they're leading by Mal Meninga. They're the man with the shortest ever political career, which lasted, I think, 6 seconds on ABC Canberra, where he just said, buggered it up and walked out. Which, at least, I'd say he was true to himself. There would have been someone behind him going, oh, I think Mal's going to do great. I think he's going to do great things. And then immediately they've just gone, well, shit.
Well, now I'm out of a job as well.
I'm out of a job. So he went in. He couldn't handle the first question, which I think they said, what's your name?
I don't think they even asked the question. He just said, hello, I'm Mal, goodbye.
Yeah. And he said, I've fucked
that was it.
I've absolutely fucked it. So
what did he say? I'm buggered. I'm sorry. I have to resign. What a great quote.
That's it.
Great quote
no
from
nonsense.
a great man.
That's what we like. Don't muck around in the playground that you're not welcome. Now speaking
so that's most playgrounds for a man of his age.
Speaking of not being welcome, after the Newcastle Knights' miraculous win, it was miraculous. It was such a firm win, a win that couldn't be. You couldn't.
They can't take it back.
You couldn't contest.
Can't take it away from us.
It was a 20-point flogging, a drubbing.
Drubbing. Yes.
There.
What does it mean to drub?
Well, we saw it on Sunday.
Yeah. The Knights fucking drubbed all over them.
For 80 minutes, drubbing away.
Yeah.
And now, when you lose,
snuck out back for a quick drub.
I saw him drubbing out in the car park. It should be arrested for that.
There's a lot of drub addicts around here.
Should we bleep that?
Anthony Seibold has found himself on the outer, as he often does, of his NRL club there at Manly.
It's very rare that he's on the inner.
It's true. It always seems like he's a bit left of centre. He's got the Adam O'Brien skill of not being very good with people. Now, unfortunately,
or rugby league.
He's playing. He's participating in administration of a sport where there are, in fact, lots of people.
Yeah.
Lots of people watching. Lots of people in the team. And sometimes when the chips are down for Anthony Seibold, it doesn't seem like he has all the answers.
Oh, but Nagy, remember, perspective is important. And as Mr. Seibold himself said last year when we were
Yes.
having this same conversation about him, because we have this conversation about Anthony Seibold every year, he said, look, there's men dying in the trenches in Ukraine. Rugby league doesn't matter.
That's an easy game.
Pressure.
That's right. That's right. It's
Now, I'm not saying that, Joust. He said that
He
last
said that.
year, Anthony Seibold. Perspective. Have some perspective.
Just think of
But
the
again,
people
that
on the
perspective
European
only...
streets.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Just think of the people on the European streets.
That's it, the European streets. Yeah.
He also said that now teams usually win 50% of their games, and good teams win 60% of their games. Losing the first two doesn't really matter.
Oh,
That's
does.
that's sort of not what you want to hear if you've just packed into Four Pines Stadium and watched their team getting beaten by last year's Wooden Spooners.
And it's the
Newcastle
manner
Knights.
in which they lost, Naggy.
It's not only the manner in which they lost, but he's caught with the curse because the Knights so badly in 2025. Now, any team that loses to the Knights, everyone thinks we must
You're
be
done,
going
you're dusted.
really shit. It's the litmus test of the NRL to see if you lose to the Knights, despite how well they go. Is that you must be terrible.
Well, it's kind of evolved a bit from last year, where last year, if you got beaten by the Knights, that was absolute rock bottom. You could not get any worse.
Yeah.
This year, it's not quite like that. It's if you lose to the Knights, like, oh, you're not going to do well. At least it's not the death knell that it was last year. If you get beaten by the Knights, you are fucked.
It's like the reverse.
We turned Penrith's year around. Thank you. You're welcome, Penrith
You're welcome,
fans.
Penrith. Good Luck Chuck, of course. That film everyone remembers. But we're sort of bad
That
luck
famous film, Good Luck, Chuck.
Bad luck, Chuck. We are. And if you lose to us, then your season is done, and everyone calls for your coach to be sacked immediately. Liam, I'm going to take a halftime break and
thank Christ.
come back and talk everything Newcastle Knights v Manly, as well as their upcoming game. But of course, our musical guest is going to take us to halftime, Mr. Nissan Salvatore.
Do whatever you want in the free seas. Sweat the campus on number team. There's a test to take, and I think you should, to help find out if you're any good. You won't know if your season's gonna hell unless you play the Knights bell to bell. Oh no, lost to the Knights. Oh no, lost to the Knights. Oh no, easy to boys. Oh no, lost to the Knights. Oh no. Not any good.
Alrighty then.
I don't think that it's over, but I will show ya. It's Fletcher and Fletcher.
Thank you, Mr. Salvatore, of course.
Isn't it nice to see the softer sides of our musical guests from time to time?
That's right. We got all sides here. We really trimmed the square into a circle, and and of course Fletcher, the accounting
accountants out
firm,
there. Fletcher and Fletcher.
that will be coming
Esquires.
through. Now, one of the Fletchers, Liam, really was when we're looking at the tremendous win against the Manly Warringah Seagulls there at Four Pines. It was gearing up. There was lots of talk about, well, this is going to be a tough match.
Ground conditions were good, weather fine, excellent work by the NRL digital media team.
They packed in there all the Manly supporters, and they were really hoping that this was going to be another great win against the Newcastle Knights.
Oh, and hope they might. Hope in one hand, shit in the other, mate. See which one fills up first.
They really didn't get off to the
Put your
best.
hands together.
They didn't get off to the best start, of course, with Luke Brooks dropping the ball from the kickoff.
Well, he didn't drop, he left it, didn't he?
Yeah, he left it. True, yeah, he let it bounce.
And I believe he did drop a kickoff later on in the
Later
same
on,
game.
he certainly did, and that let Newcastle Knights get away to a quick 12-0 win. And now that's something that
Greg Marju, minute one. That is not many minutes.
we're something we're good at now. Apparently, is scoring points, or especially when we've got all that money on the field,
Money.
And we looked quite good. They did come back with their own couple of tries.
At what point did you feel comfortable that the Knights were going to win this game?
81st minute, I think.
Yeah, same.
And when even
I remember when we were up by about 18, 20 points, I'm like, oh, God, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, no,
We said, Liam, they're winning by a lot. And I said, oh, Dal, you have no idea what this team has done to me in the past, mentally and emotionally.
it felt like the tide was turning in Manly's favour because not only did we lose Kalen Ponga as he goes over for that try, backing up Bradman Best, hitting a great line of Sandon Smith. And that line's really possible because Kalen Ponga's at the back and the eyes go to headgear. The eyes go to Ponga.
He frees up the inside man.
And on that, the overs line, the again line is there, Brabham best, and then he bursts through and cool as a cucumber passes off to Kalen Ponga. But unfortunately, Jason Saab, not the car, ran Ponga down. He had to reach back, palm him off, which looked excellent.
He did. It looked very, very good.
And it was the overstride. You see, the overstride and did the hammy. And then they said, it's just a cramp.
This is why a man should never exercise. No. What's the point of it all?
If you're that fit and you still hurt yourself, you may as well be unfit and hurt yourself. I've been saying it for years. And put us into usually what we see, even going back to the Andrew Johns days, is that when our big name player goes off with an injury, we just crumble. But
that's it. The Knights of old would have absolutely crumbled in this game. But these are the Knights of new.
We for some reason, even in this period there where now Ponga's off, we saw Dylan Brown take control and put Fletcher Hunt over, who came on from position, I believe, 18.
Yeah.
Now this is the brand new rule, of course. The brand new rule of that you can lolly jar your
you can
selections.
pick and choose which bench player you would like to utilise, and the system's worked already.
The systems.
Loath though I am to give Volandis credit, this one might be a good rule change.
Yeah, I think
He's got to get one right.
They might be onto something, and it certainly served us well, because we were there and we thought, well, who's going to play fullback now? Hang on, we've got one on the bench. In the way of Fletcher Hunt. And if this is someone that has come to the team, played a lot of games last year, despite not winning many of them. But
always looked great in a beaten side, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Young Fletcher Hunt.
He looks like he's come to. It looks more of a man. The man from Warren. Yeah.
He's still a skinny boy.
He's still a boy. But
get him into the weights room. Get some of whatever Bronson Cherry had. Get some of that into Fletcher Hunt.
Yeah, and so he's He came in and then looked great there at fullback. So all of a sudden. He goes over. Then Dylan Brown goes down. Now that put a lot of pressure on us. But then we still managed to get another try before half time, which usually would go to the opposition side. And
we flipped the script.
And we went in with a solid 20-point lead. But
even then, at 20 points up at half time, I had no confidence at all.
Yeah, and Tyson Frizzell gets over there breaking a try drought of, I believe, since 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He usually gets over for a couple every year, but he is getting older. But he scooped up a great ball after Tom Travojevic dropped it, and he went over the line. And all of a sudden, we thought, this is unusually strong from the Knights. Obviously, we managed to withhold the lead. And some people would say that the Manly players came out second half, didn't play very well. I say the Newcastle Knights played excellent.
The Newcastle Knights did play excellently, but I do think there is validity in the point that Manly absolutely tanked it in the second half. They were disgustingly bad.
They didn't look good whatsoever. But Liam,
the classic bloody no one there when you play the ball thing, that's under 12 stuff.
They were also about 30 metres away.
They
weren't there.
The funny thing, Jason Saab was there in support, and he just kind of peels off to the far side of the field.
Disappears.
It was really weird. He just disappeared off the bottom of the screen.
Also,
I don't know what he was thinking.
It's one of those times where you're really happy that the players know the rules. Now, you can't leave your feet and dive on the ball from marker, but if you stay on your feet and there's no a dummy half, you can go around and pick the ball up.
Which I think that's another great example of whenever a player does something within the rules, everyone's like, oh, that's great, that's genius. Like, well, they just know the rules.
You'd think they would know the rules. Most players should know the rules because basically all the supporters know the rules.
Yeah.
And that's what they do for a job.
Yeah.
That's their job.
It's the bare minimum, but he's very smart. Oh, he touched the ball. He knew it was going out and he touched it. He didn't catch it. Yeah. He doesn't need to. Doesn't need to.
Incredible amount of line breaks there as well as tackle breaks. There were missing tackles left, right and centre. We looked all over them for basically
that is
the
a
entire
stat
game.
Sheet of domination, of sheer unbridled domination.
And speaking about players that took our eye, Liam, in things that we thought they did particularly well, things being people in our Mullet Pale Ale, hats off for this week.
Hats off. Hats off. Hats off.
Of course, brought to you by Mullet Pale Ale there at Shout Brewery.
And isn't it such an appropriate hats off to give courtesy of Mullet Pale Ale to one of the swimming upstream mullet boys himself, Fletcher Hunt. My God. We've just waxed lyrical about the boy, but he's proven that every time he comes into the rugby league arena, he just wants to win. He just wants to have fun, do good stuff. A try assist, 104 run meters in his tenure there, 5 tackle busts and a line break assist. This kid's he's amazing. I love this guy.
Of course, is appropriate. The mullet Pala, of course, a man with possibly the best mullet in the team, although Fletcher Sharp.
It's a close run thing, though.
Yeah. The two
close
Fletchers,
run thing.
Two Fletchers, but same name, same haircut.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Couldn't make it up.
For a while there, I thought that Fletcher Hunt was also from the Valley, but in fact, he's from Warren.
Warren's sort of the central north of the valley.
Yes, I've never been there.
I don't think many people have.
No. Is there a timber
Can we,
town in Warren?
What's the population of Warren?
We'll find it out.
Yeah,
But,
let's get the boffins on it. He was superb. And I think even though we've lost our $1.3 million man, our $1.4 million man, whatever Fletcher Sharp's on, with this fella at the back, I feel safe.
Yeah,
I
sure.
feel safe.
How safe would you feel in a town with 1,365 people?
Well, the one I grew up in wasn't much bigger, so
right.
yeah,
You'd be right
quite
at home.
safe. Very
Warren.
safe, in fact.
Yeah, that's Warren. Not much.
That's Warren.
That's Warren. That's what we always say. That's Warren. Of course, my hats off goes to the debutante, Harrison Graham, which someone that came on from position 19, someone that again last year wouldn't have got a run unless there was multiple HIAs, but he comes on to play hooker and looks not only the goods, but gee, I like the cut of his jib.
It's a great jib cut.
He looked like he's been playing NRL. For years. Now, in many respects, he has.
Well, he has. He's played over 3 seasons of the Dolphins. He played 11 first-grade games. So over the years, he's played some.
He certainly
played a handful.
The way that we got Phoenix Crossland, that sort of we manufactured him into a hooker. This fella looks like a hooker from day dot.
Cherry pie.
As soon as he was born,
Apple of his eye. She was a hooker.
She was a hooker. As soon as he was born, the doctor looked at him and said, "Hooker."
This man's going to play dummy half.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's got that low center of gravity. He was just he injected so much energy,
and a steady hand too. Like again, the Knights of the past, if they got one spine member go down, it's all gone to biscuits.
Yes,
but not this week. Because what do we look? Let's look at the spine as the game finished. It was Harrison, Graham, Phoenix, Crossland, Sandon, Smith, Fletcher Hunt. Usually that wouldn't inspire great confidence, but it inspired a heck of a lot of confidence. I thought the boys did great.
We often talk about next man up and things like that. Now, Phoenix Crossland has played in the halves before, so actually going back to that
bit
position.
too. It was a half coming through the grades, of course.
Yeah. So in many respects, it all fell into place quite nicely for Justin Holbrook. But Liam, when we take our hats off, of course, we must return them to our heads in our hats back on.
Yeah, you put your hat on.
What a song.
It's tough to point the finger at any player that we thought didn't do a particularly good job.
There was none.
Right across,
we pointed,
right across
but we
the
didn't
park.
land on anyone.
Even like someone.
Did we take the cowards option, Naggy?
No. This Liam is a little bit. What's the word? It's
ethereal.
Ethereal. It's the saying that the Knights just can't have nice shiny things.
We are not allowed them, Naggy.
We have we got a taste of nice shiny things, and Kalen Ponga playing really well. Dylan Brown looking like he's going to live up to his high price tag, and then we get that for about 100 minutes, and then we are no longer to have the nice shiny things. It seems like we are destined always to be on the back foot. So that gets our hats back on for this week. But Liam, even players like on the bench, like last week we were pretty critical of Pasami Solo.
We were,
and he comes out and has a fantastic game. Everyone across across the field, both backs and forwards and coming off the bench, everything seemed to gel. I do feel a bit bad.
It was sustained excellence.
For Tommy Cant, because he didn't get on, even though he was wearing number 14.
Because he has been known to fill in at hooker before, hasn't he?
He has.
Tommy
And when we had a discussion...
Yet another Tommy can.
At halftime,
and
I thought...
Tommy does and Tommy will.
I thought that's what we were going to see. I thought we were going to see Thomas Cant come on.
But
But he came on. Sorry, he didn't come on. But at the same time, I think he respects the fact that the coach made a call, and it was a bit of an audacious call putting Harrison Graham on, but he looked the goods. He absolutely looked the stuff.
The boys got it.
Yeah.
The boys got it.
The boys got it.
The boys got it.
He might have to wait a little while to see a little bit more of Harrison Graham, but hopefully not too much. Also, he made his debut for the Newcastle Knights and was given the floppy hat. The
I get the floppy hat?
Yeah, afterwards, Danny Beers gave it to him. But before then, was looking like a player that Sammy had just up on there. He's was coming in on 15, was due to make his debut. If you keep going that way, one more, and again, that Tim. Francis was due to make his...
Frisco, they call him. That's
Frisco.
his nickname.
Yeah.
Frisco, yeah.
And
according to the Newcastle Knights rugby league page.
So he would have been there warming up, thinking, "Oh, this is what's going to happen." Four Pines Stadium.
Of Frisco.
Yeah, and so he's been
Just drip feed me a little bit of Frisco this weekend.
held back just one more game, but hopefully he will get his chance against a fearsome Warriors pack. And of course, as we look backwards, not forwards, forwards and backwards, twirling, always twirling. We must look to the Warriors. Our first home game, Liam, in round 3. 3 now. Some would say
Too long. Well, basically round 4. Given we started in round 0.
Some would say that the fact that we're our home game was one we took to the United States. I would argue that Newcastle is not in the United States of America.
I think you'd be correct.
Yeah.
I'd argue the very same point. I'm on your side in all of this. You know, the naysayers will say nay, but no, we're pretty sure it ain't there.
We find ourselves without, of course, the 2 players we've mentioned a bunch is Kalen Ponga as well as Dylan Brown.
Big outs.
The reshuffle there, Fletcher Sharp is in doubt, but he looks like at the moment that he'll be named at 5'8".
Well, I think that's the big talking point, is the Fletcher Sharp being in doubt. Now, was it, I believe, that he was unable to finish a training session, which is where the concern has come from. So
if we look back at last year, a similar injury to Reece Walsh. Now, he had to struggle through a lot of those pain sort of injuries.
And he won
in
the
his
Clive
knee.
Churchill. Are you saying that Fletcher Sharp's going to win the Clive Churchill medal?
I think I am, Liam.
Oh, you heard it here first, Justice.
We want
and probably last.
We want Fletcher Sharp on the field as much as we can.
Always.
I am a little bit sceptical, if you will. I am seeing an armchair, and I will be a skeptic in an armchair of one thing that I believe that Sanders Smith, I think, is a great half, and he's shown himself to be a fantastic organiser of getting everyone through the sort of plays 1 through 3.
Steady hand.
A good steady hand. One thing I do worry about Fletcher Sharp, despite how of a dynamic runner he is, one thing that he's shown is not a great ball mover. He's not a natural sort of right to left passer.
Yeah.
You want him receiving the ball. So maybe where we get a Fletcher and Fletcher sort of hybrid role, if they're on there, where Fletcher is running that more, Fletcher Sharp is running that more traditional fullback line and coming around. But I do feel like we're going to rely on some ball movement from people like Tyson Frizzell as well as Matt Croker to get the ball across the forwards.
Which they've been doing a good job in the middle of the field, Matthew Croker and Tyson Frizzell.
I do worry that the players like the Bradman Best and even the Fletcher Hunts, as well as Fletcher Sharp, that you really want to give them good ball with a bit of space, making the defensive team having to make a decision. Without that, you give the defensive an extra second and all of a sudden you look a bit pedestrian. I believe that there is a man in the team in the extended bench, number 18. Of course, this is Tyson Responsibly.
Tyson Responsibly.
Someone
we haven't had any Tyson Responsibly in a hot minute.
Someone that's done it to us and with us before, of course.
And for us.
Remembering in that 2023 season where he was our 5'8", and he was responsible for the Newcastle Knights partly scoring at least. Have we done something to his photo? Because that moustache looks awful.
That's grim.
No, that's it.
Looks like
that's it.
bloody
God.
Ming the Merciless.
As I'm
but
trying,
without the chin bit.
Look, was it Fu Manchu?
Fu Manchu,
yeah. Anyway, it's very far apart.
Dragon whips its tail.
For all our audio listeners,
Is that the reverse Hitler?
He's got 2 caterpillars that are falling off his mouth. Anyway, but he's there as someone that has played probably about 80 first grade games.
Safe hands.
And I just feel like if he was at 5'8" and he's looking to move the ball to his left, moving right to left, if you had someone like if you could choose between Fletcher Hunt hitting Bradman Best, hitting Dylan Lucas up front, and of course, if you remember Dylan Lucas scoring a hat-trick off Tyson Responsibly against the Baby Panthers last year.
Yes.
And look, it should be a great day out in the office for any 5'8" that just has choices of all those runners. But you want someone that can get the ball and into the line and then move it. And I feel like without that player there, we might struggle a bit.
Interesting, Naggy. Very good thoughts.
There's also going to be a lot of pressure on Sanders Smith, who's now our only kicker. Because before,
and he wasn't striking him great on the weekend.
Yeah, well, he sort of went always through that shorter side.
Yeah.
But once it was only him. But I feel like there was also lots of pressure. Hopefully, Phoenix Crossland could take up a bit of the duties. But Phoenix Crossland is not as good of an in-play kicker as
Give us another 40-20, Phoenix.
Kalen
Do that
Ponga is
again.
or Dylan Brown is. Now, again, Tyson responsibly, can hoof the ball. He's probably our biggest boot.
That's it. He's got power, but he has an odd kicking style. He kind of throws the ball up. Before. It's not just a traditional drop.
Yep.
But yeah, he gets some welly behind it.
Now luckily the rugby league gods have decided to even this out slightly because both Chanel Harris-Tavita as well as
Luke Metcalf's
still out, but even
Chance
Nickel-Klukstad is not there at fullback, and he always plays well against us. But they're still, they're probably the most surprising package to come through the 2026 season at the moment. The Warriors just seem to be blowing everyone off the park, but they have played their 2 games at home, so they have to come across. It's not the pond, it's the ditch, and they've got to take a plane there because it's going to take too long if they're on a ship.
They haven't built the channel yet.
What happens when a ditch fills with water?
It's still a ditch.
Is it a moat?
Still a ditch?
Still a ditch.
All right.
I think if you're looking at maybe weak spots to exploit, there's good old Dallin Watney-Zalesniak. He's always good for a couple of drops.
Yes, that's true. Like he's either the classic rocks or diamonds. And I was really sort of impressed with both Greg as well as Dominic Young.
Great work out of the backfield from our 2 big, powerful wingers.
They did everything they needed to do, and so hopefully
and more.
Hopefully with the Warriors, we can get them on the back foot, and then if they're comfortable winning by a lot in these games and thinking, well, we're not scoring many points, we can maybe just upset them. Now, there is a player debuting for the Warriors as well, Liam, and this is someone named...
Luke Hanson,
I
believe. He's a young boy.
I went to school with Luke Hanson.
Bob.
Wasn't a nice fella when I went to school, but lovely
Bit
fella.
of a bully you mentioned.
Well, he was just one of the rough and tumble sort of a fellas. But afterwards, and he bought us beer when I was 17 and he was 18.
See, that's a gentleman. That's not the sign of a bully.
He did the heel turn. Face turn.
Face turn, yeah.
Yeah, lovely fella.
Yeah.
So this is a different Luke Hanson that didn't buy me beer. And he'll be playing for
Look
the
at that
Warriors.
smile. He would, though, if he had the opportunity.
And everyone seems to, at the Warriors camp, seems to think he's the next best thing since buttered bread. So he's going to come on. He might screw us into all dimensions, or he might be terrible.
Another place where the Knights really need to tighten up is right through the middle. Wade Egan is sort of, over the last few years, being over there across the ditch. He's gone under the radar as one of the better hookers in the National Rugby League.
Yep.
And he's really good at, manipulating markers, finding spacing behind the ruck, getting his forwards on to the ball with a full head of steam.
He's also good. He's almost better once he gets hit in the head.
It's bizarre.
He gets
the Dallas Johnson curse.
He gets a bad knock.
Yeah.
You think, he's got to come out, and then all of a sudden he plays the best game of his life.
Yeah.
Look, we also have something that's again, it's not traditional Ghost of Christmas Past.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
It's actually a ghost that hasn't happened yet because
Ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Because what's his
Murata Niokore. And Naggy, you've got the inside word that he's basically signed. Is that correct?
Seems like he is. Everyone seems to be in agreement that he's coming over in 2027.
Will this be a Dom Young situation where he plays against the Knights one week and then plays for the Knights the next week, Nagy?
I don't think he's coming over
mid-season transfer in round 3?
I don't think it's mid-season, but I think we might see, when we see the end of Tyson Frizzell's career, I think he's going to slot into that sort of
I think he's a great signing. He's a big, powerful fella. He can play in the middle. He can play on the edge. Which is the middle, definitely more importantly. We need a bit of a bolstering there with Tyson Frizzell on likely his last legs.
Yes.
I think if the Knights do end up signing Murata
not-
Niokore, no, not dying. Let's make that clear, please. He might be. We don't know.
might
We're
be
no
dying.
doctors.
No.
We're no doctors, and nor
neither
should
of
you
us-
accuse us of being.
Neither of us are doctors.
I think if we do manage to sign Murata Niokore, he'll be a very good signing.
I think we will be too. And hopefully you have a very good game against us. Strike that. Hopefully he has a shit game against us, but then plays much better for the rest of the season.
But isn't it the Knights' way if they sign a new player and he plays against the club?
He's scoring
they
a
just
try.
beat the shit out of him.
For sure he's scoring a
Like, do you
try.
remember when it was the Knights had signed Trent Hodkinson?
Yes.
And then I think it was Corbin Sims went out the next week. And
Tarek,
Tarek Sims just went out and belted the shit out of him.
Yeah, like hurt his wrist or something.
Yeah, damage you. So
not
you'll
going
be here
okay.
next year. I hate you.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Of course, if you
Great
don't,
memories.
if you don't want to go to
Jousters.
the game where it's going to be filled with people and you don't want to have to deal with all the crowds and the lines,
Well,
and
George Derby will be filled with people as well. It's a wonderful pub.
but luckily, Liam, they're up there at the sports bar. Incredible service.
And a delicious ice-cold mullet pale ale drunk from a schooner glass straight out of the tap.
You can certainly do that if you're not heading to the game. Of course, head to the George. Liam, thank you very much for joining me for this week. Hopefully, we'll be coming back to talk about 3 in a row. For our beloved
Mr. Speaker.
Newcastle Knights. And the smug meter will be off the charts. Thank you here from the team. If you like us, you can find us on all the social pipes. But of course, to play us out is our musical guest for this week, Mr. Nissan Salvatore.